for a new spy thriller. It's George Mackay and Jeremy Irons. Good to see you both.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, nice to see you. So we mentioned we've got Ella on the show. Hi, Ella, there she is. But of course, Ella, not the only musical person here. Now, you famously, Jeremy, played Scar in The Lion King. Fantastic role. Let's just remind ourselves, all the children watching now will love this. Here it is.
Decades of denial is simply why I'll be king undisputed, respected, saluted, and seen for the wonder I am. Yes, my teeth and ambitions are bad. Be prepared.
Not just the kids out. I was a kid when that was out. I love it. I was. Scar
I hate him.
is... Scar has got to be one of the greatest Disney villains of all time. Was that fun role?
It was good. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Of course, I used to busk in London, so I've been singing since I was way younger than you, for my supper.
Nice. And you used to play the drums, right?
Bit of drums, bit of piano, bit of guitar, bit of fiddle, bit of anything that needs filling in, really.
All the skills. Now, from Disney villain to singing soldier, George played a struggling soldier. Struggling to adapt to home life in Sunshine on Leith, where he did a cover of the Proclaimers' 500 Miles. Let's remind ourselves.
And I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more, just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
Nice voice, George. Very nice.
Do you like a musical, George?
Aye, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was that?
That was Sunshine on Leith. It's a Proclaimers musical.
Oh, Jeremy, you've got to watch Sunshine on Leith.
I know.
On a Sunday. Oh, lovely Friday night with a cup of tea. Very nice.
Yeah, nice and sweet.
So, Ella, now then, your old teacher.
Jeremy and George will be chatting about their new film, Munich, The Edge of War.
I'd kill you for even thinking about it. What happened to you?
It looks brilliant. And as Harry said, it is, of course, based on real-life events, Jeremy. But it is so much more than that as well. How would you describe the film?
Well, it's a thriller about two young men who were at Cambridge together, George and his German friend. And when war is becoming possible, they are both very close to the seats of government in Germany and in England. Mm-hmm. And it's about their attempts to alter the course of history. And alongside that, we have the Prime Minister of the country who's also trying to alter the course of history by stopping us going back into war. The First World War was 20 years before. He didn't want it to happen again. So it's those two parallel stories, really, that enhance each other.
George, what did you know about the history of the time before filming?
To be honest, not too much. I think my understanding of the Second World War kind of began in terms of the country's leadership with Churchill. I didn't know too much about this Munich Agreement and of the politics around Chamberlain before that. So it was a real amazing opportunity to kind of learn a bit more about that history before we started.
And as you alluded to there, George, you know, people had their opinions on Chamberlain as a Prime Minister. What were your impressions of him then, Jeremy, before you started filming, and did they change during the course of the film?
Very much so. I mean, the film is based on Robert Harris's book, Munich. Fantastic book. And what I knew of Chamberlain before the book was that he was the appeaser. He was the man who landed back at Heathrow with a piece of paper saying, "I've got peace for our time." Now, of course, we know that a year later we went to war. Robert's contention, and I think there's a lot of historical, some historians would disagree, some would agree. Robert's contention is that what Chamberlain did by putting war off for a year was to give us a chance to build our defences, to build an air force, which we didn't really have, and to get the country ready for the idea of going to war.
Right.
And showing that Hitler, whatever he said, was not trusting, we couldn't trust him.
Mm-hmm.
So Chamberlain effectively knew, regardless of the Munich Agreement, he kind of knew that it would buy time.
I think he thought it was very unlikely Hitler would be as peaceful as he protested he wanted to be.
Right. Now, George, you play a civil servant turned spy, but your character's entirely fictional. Does that make it easier than maybe having to, you know, like Jeremy had?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have to do the work that Jeremy did in sort of like, Jeremy gives the most amazing.
You have to run
performance.
about a lot.
I don't run. That's all I do is I just run. Like, it was, yeah, I mean, it's, the beauty with Hugh is, yeah, he's the kind of fictional entity within the story, but there was so much amazing kind of historical context to build that fictional character. You know, the production made this incredible website where they kind of gave us all these essays and historical documents on all the real characters, so that, you know, as the fictional one, I could sort of build the world around it in my head from the reality that was there.
But that's quite exciting, isn't it, as an opportunity that you're presented with all this, you know, all these documents, and that you can kind of decide what he's like.
You know, kind of what his interest was, and before, as I say, like I didn't know much about Chamberlain beforehand, but then there was reading up on his policies beforehand. You can see how Hugh would revere him and want to sort of support him in his efforts, you know, as he was kind of working amongst him at Downing Street.
And as your character, Hugh, as Jeremy said, you do a lot of running around, but looking very worried and very anxious.
They wanted me to run around quite a lot.
And you said no way.
But I did. I said no.
Yeah, no.
Prime Minister's walk.
But you sort of, is it right that you had a trick to sort of keep it in character and looking worried, and something to do with?
It wasn't so much a trick, but I think it was kind of. I think there's definitely a parallel in the reality of, you know, I play a young civil servant with this kind of masterful leader, and you know, and I'm sort of a young actor, and you've got Jeremy, who is a masterful, incredibly experienced actor. So you kind of just lean into that dynamic in the room, and you just change accent, change clothes, and change era, but you've sort of got the dynamic there, I guess.
Nice.
Amazing stuff. Well, thank you both. Munich, The Edge of War is in select cinemas right now and on Netflix from the 21st of January.
Downstairs.
Yeah, and Jeremy, lots of comments about your boots. People are loving them.
Lots of love for Jeremy's boots. He looks like Puss in Boots in a good way. It's amazing.
You have to get used to the fact that people only admire your boots.
And Matthew as well, George, says that their favourite film in their house is Sunshine on Leith.
Oh, thank you very much.
And that's it.
That is. Thanks for everyone tonight. Jeremy, George, Ella, of course, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you as well, Harry.
Thank you.
I will be back with Ronan tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Goodbye.